Our job here is to understand what does it mean working and starting by understanding the landscape, and all our works are looking for a special development. In the middle, between L, landscape, and the D of development, there are a big R, like architecture, and an also big nature. So architecture, like culture, and nature starts a new relationship. Jeremy Rifkin tells us that we need to stop war on nature. The new generation need to stop the war on nature, and we said, okay, then let us work with nature. So we start to understand something. We need to explore something. We need to go there for seeing what's the kind of evolution we see on the territory. And then we can start to think about landscape, about transformation, about architecture in landscape, and landscape as architecture. Because the future of the landscape architecture are the approaches. And the key for the urban regeneration are the urban landscape. So landscape architecture, for my understanding, is always thinking in a processual way. The green thinking of the future needs more green in our city, more public space in our city, and more communication to prepare what somebody calls the smart city. And the Green City movement, we call it here Green City Italia, was on the base of our Milan Green City plan. More than only trees in the city, but thinking about a new way to live in the city. You know that normally Milan is not really a green city. Milan is not really a city what we call so nice city like Rome. But Milan is a busy city. Milan is a fashion city, it's a design city. So Milan is a fast city. And when you look to the public space, you need always the opposite. If everything is so fast, then when you stopped it and you can introduce the slow thinking, then you produced public urban space, only to stay there. And maybe one tree are more than 100 trees together. One tree in the right dimension, in the right situation. This is a philosophy of Green Race of Milano, 8 Green Race for Milano, a penetration of green areas, but also for public areas in the city. A strategy not only for urban planning, but also for environmental thinking in terms of hills, in terms of free time, and in terms of playgrounds. In this moment, we studied and we realized a very good example in this kind of philosophy. The master plan of Portello, designed by a very famous Italian architect, Gino Valle, then introduced the residence by another young famous architect, Gino Zucchi, and at least coming also Canali from Parma. So 3 architects working around a very, very big park, Portello Park. For this park, we called together Charles Jenks, And Charles Jenks is a garden designer and introduced something completely new in an old industrial part of Milan, the former Alfa Romeo Park. That is for us a good example that Alfa Romeo starts to have something very high density in the design and also very fast design. Because if you have a look to the design, it always moved. And we need something completely new. So it is a certain kind of contamination. So I think that if you have a good, very strong master plan from landscape, urban landscape, and then you introduced in this master plan something completely different, then it works. Because you are in a good context. You are connect with the context, and it's a good contamination. But it's not only contamination, but it's a contextual contamination. And this is what old, former industrial cities needs, new contamination.